Hello, happy, what day is it? Tuesday. Going to be going live in a few minutes with a special guest. Yay, it's going to work, I think. All right.
Oh, yay, it works.
Yay.
Woo!
Awesome. All right. We made it. There's
I
always
know.
like a little bit of breath holding around like
Right.
clicking a button over and over again. But yeah, so excited to have Dr. Rachel here from Davis Chiropractic. And Rachel, why don't you start by telling people what do you do and who do you help?
Absolutely. So I am Dr. Kessel. We are in North Raleigh at Davis Family Chiropractic. So I'm an associate chiropractor here. We also have Dr. Davis. She could not be with us here today, but hopefully we can get her on a live soon so that everyone can meet her. But we see mostly families with chiropractic care, a lot of babies, teens, really kids of any age, and then just a lot of mamas. So families are really kind of our jam. We just want to help grow a healthy community and healthy population, kind of starting from when kids are young. So that is us, and that's what we do.
Awesome. That's so great. I love the whole family emphasis. Yeah, it's so important to really nurture us when we're itty bitty. And how did you get started in the field of chiropractic care?
Yes. So for the longest time, like most, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I explored lots of sides of medicine. And I finally just shadowed a chiropractor when I was in college one summer and just realized that there is a totally different side to chiropractic and medicine and health in general, and just how you can really kind of nurture your health within and kind of do a little bit more of preventative care with chiropractic. So chiropractic is just, it's awesome because you can heal from the inside out, and there's just a totally different way of helping people with chiropractic. So I love it. I found that after I shadowed that one chiropractor that one day, I was with him the rest of the summer, and it was kind of history from there. So it was great. It was a good experience.
That's so awesome. And that's what I really loved learning about
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic care. It's so holistic, and you don't have to wait till there's a problem to get help. You
Right.
can be proactive, and there's really great benefits for preventative care. And with that in mind, so is there a fun fact about you that people might enjoy learning?
Absolutely. So it's totally not chiropractic related, but I am a triplet, which I think is always just a fun, cute, cool little fact. So I have a brother and a sister. Of course, we look nothing alike, so you would know that we were not related if we were in the same room together, but I'm a triplet. So it's just been a fun childhood growing up and kind of teaching them chiropractic as well, because they really didn't know much about it. Neither did I. So
That is so cool. I didn't know that about you.
yeah,
And yeah, that's so much fun. I have a few friends who are triplets, so this
yeah,
is
it's cool.
cool.
It is fun.
Um, yeah. And then, so going back to like business stuff, but I
Absolutely.
think it's chiropractic. What are some of the top reasons that people will reach out to you guys for help?
So if we're talking like pregnancy, prenatal related, and just the overall general population, low back pain is super common, sciatic pain. But when it comes to pregnancy, usually baby's position for birth is super important. So with chiropractic, we really just focus on the alignment of the pelvis, especially Gonstead chiropractors, and then we just allow that to be in the best position for birth. And then if everything else kind of sets in place. So with Gonstead, especially, that's the technique that we do. It really focuses on the pelvis. So adding a little bit extra technique there and just allowing that pelvis to be in the best position really just sets our moms up for success.
That's so great. So great. And then with that in mind, so if folks are reaching out to you during pregnancy, what is a challenge that they might find or a barrier for them that that's slowing them down to getting the help from you that
Right.
they deserve?
Right. Well, some, they come to us really early on in their pregnancy, which is great because then we can kind of work with them throughout that journey. But if you're coming kind of later on in your pregnancy, usually time is not on our side for anyone, not just pregnancy related. So it's really good to start early on in your pregnancy and then just kind of maintain wellness throughout and balance in that pelvis so that we're not trying to kind of work backwards. We're just maintaining. But in general, anyone seeking chiropractic care, time is really an issue, especially around the holidays. You really need that repetition into your spine in order to kind of maintain and just build on one adjustment. So time is super important, but it's really important in the beginning to just really get that time and repetition. Sometimes that looks like 2 and 3 times a week, which may seem like a lot, but it's really great to just kind of start that now. So with the busy school schedules and again the holidays, it's hard to narrow down and really set aside time for those adjustments, but if you can do it, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I love that explanation. And then there's also something to think about, like when we're the busiest, like that's actually the time where we could be taking care of ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Like helping ourselves
Right.
be primed for what success looks like.
Right.
So yeah, I
Well,
love
usually,
that.
we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. So, sometimes you have to be a little selfish and put yourself first because you have to be there for the rest of your family. And if mom is hurting, she can't take care of everybody else. So you really have to make sure that you stick to those adjustments and get your nervous system ready, especially for immune system throughout the holiday season. There's a lot of germs and stuff going around and coming home from daycare and preschool. So really just allowing your immune system to be ready to combat anything.
Yes. Oh, and with that, with pelvic floor, because that's a pelvic floor specialist, a lot of moms don't realize that their pelvic floor is having a
Yep.
hard time until
Right.
little mini me brings home a cough
Right.
or RSV from daycare or preschool, and
Mhm.
then then it's like, oh,
Right.
I've been putting this off since
Yep.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's
Right.
just to advocate for take care of yourself, put your life best on first. There's ain't no harm in getting
Mm-hmm.
some PLC and love for your body.
Right. Because you don't know until you know. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And then with your unique specialty being in the pregnancy and postpartum, what would you feel like more people need to know about having support during this precious and time that's very time sensitive?
Absolutely. So it is time sensitive. With chiropractic, there is a specific technique that is for that prenatal population, and it's called Webster. So again, along with Gonstead Chiropractic, where we focus on the alignment of the pelvis, that Webster technique is specific to the pelvis just because that's where baby's growing and developing, and it just allows the pelvis to be in the perfect positioning. Just because there's a lot of issues, especially when we get towards the end, baby's growing and getting big, and if we're not head down and ready for birth, then there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So Webster is super important. A lot of people don't know about Webster, but it focuses on not only the bony structure, but also the ligamentous components that come into play with baby. So it's super great, and we do it on all of our moms every visit. So again, you really need that repetition into your spine and into your pelvis just to make your body realize it's like homeostasis, really. So that's Webster.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And then with that in mind, knowing that for some people, schedule might be
Right.
a barrier, or maybe they just don't know, what would you say is a myth about Webster or chiropractic care during pregnancy that you could bust?
Yep, absolutely. So chiropractic during pregnancy, there's a lot of, pain associated with it, just your center of gravity is changing. So with chiropractic, a big myth is that it's not just for pain, it's for just overall wellness. And that's why it's super important to start really early on in those first few weeks, or even prior to that, just to kind of prime your body, set it up for success. And then it's really just a lifetime of wellness. So there's really no good or bad time to start. I mean, the sooner you do it, the better, but it's really not just for when you hurt. It's for when you don't hurt, and to make it a little bit more of a preventative measure.
Cool. So the myth busting is that it's going to be a lot of painful and you have to wait, but you can For prevention?
Right. So for prevention, yes, we don't want you to come, at the very end when it's hard to walk through the front door. We want to make sure that you're coming in early on and just make it just as comfortable as possible throughout those hard weeks at the end.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And how can people get connected with y'all?
So you can find us on social media. We have some great information on our Instagram. We just provide super good oil supplements. We do a lot with essential oils, but also just some good information about chiropractic care. A lot of people don't know that chiropractic care is for babies, or that we can even adjust moms that are pregnant. So good information on our Instagram. You can check us out on our website or just give us a call. We try to do workshops just throughout the quarters. I know we did one together this past September. We did a push prep. So we try to make some events that are just fun and informative. So give us a call, check us out on Instagram. Any way you can reach us, really. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
That's awesome. Oh, and then I actually have one more question about baby care.
Okay.
So yeah, so how soon can babies get started?
So really, as soon as you're comfortable. We have a lot that come, kind of that's 2-3 days old. Some get checked on the way home from the hospital. It's really as soon as mom is comfortable, but the sooner the better, really, because birth, unfortunately, is probably the most traumatic thing that they can go through, and mom. So usually that's where their first misalignment happens. So we really want to make sure that they're also primed and ready, just because those first 2 years of life are so important. So really getting them checked as soon as possible, so they're not growing and learning how to do all the new things with that interference in the nervous system.
Wow, that's such an amazing skill to be able to help mom and baby.
Right.
So, thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Kessel. And I will put your handle in the chat, but hopefully people will just follow you from here. And yeah, we did our push prep last year, which was so much fun. So y'all stay tuned for 2024. All right, bye.
Bye.